frustrating loss, tough loss. I really appreciate our players, the work that they put in, and they worked hard and did a lot of good things in that game, and got off the start we wanted to, just couldn't sustain it. And we did things in this game that we knew we could not do, and that's giving up a punt block or a punt return or a defensive score, and we give up 2. And so I think obviously that's a critical momentum shift when we're moving the ball, playing physical, playing a close game, driving it, and get the sack, fumble, return for a touchdown, and follow it up with a tip pick 6. Those are just things that are going to just completely take you right out of the game plan in a place like this, and put us in some predictable spots that it's not good for us still. But I think with that, I'll open it up.
Mark, what's your message to Cutter?
Yeah, he's we're a better football team, and Cutter is a very good quarterback that's going to have a very bright future. That you guys know, when you start on the road, for the first time in the SEC, you're going to go through, take some lumps. We have to be good enough around him and as a team to overcome that, and we weren't tonight. And so, he took some lumps, and there's some things to learn from, but he did some good things as well.
How do you think your team responded when you're in that 28-10 hole?
I thought the guys were fighting, they were trying. We weren't good enough, and the bad thing is like certain situations, the execution of whether it be defensively, or offensively, we fell short, when we were trying to make that, come back. We weren't good enough.
What would you tell fans who just don't see much reason to be optimistic about the offense right now?
Yeah, I think, I understand, the frustration. I really do. I know our team is a good group of guys that work really hard, and we're a better football team. I know it doesn't always show up, and I know that doesn't mean a whole lot. The bottom line is winning, and we're falling short of that, and that's frustrating for all of us.
Defensively, you guys got a lot of pressures, but Sellers had an incredible ability to kind of move around in the pocket. How frustrating was that, getting so close, and maybe he breaks off for a game?
Yeah, he did a couple times there late when we're trying to get him off the field, and he's a tremendous athlete. He has a great knack for that. Just the way he can feel the pressure, the way he loses it, and then his strength. He's a very good player.
Coach, you talked about not being able to sustain, but can you take any positives from coming out fast?
Oh, I mean, like I said, it's not just coming out fast. It's just the execution, the things, the way we were playing. I thought we did some good things. We did, and you can't do the things that I'm talking about. You cannot let them score off, the punt returns or any special teams plays or defensive scores, and we gave them 2.
Coach, Coach, what's the message to the team when you have so many ranked matchups coming up?
Well, that was the matchup, or the message. Basically, what I told them is the same thing I told you, was that we did a lot of good things. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of their effort. They're want to. They're a good team. They care about each other. We didn't execute in critical moments, and that's on all of us. That's on the coaches, and that's on the players. In critical third downs, critical situations, we have to execute better. That's on all of us.
Mark, I was asking, as you mentioned, kind of letting Cutter take his lumps and a learning experience. How do you balance that with also not letting him take too many lumps and that hurting his confidence?
Well, yeah, I think it's hard, man. This league is unrelenting. That. So I think he has to learn by playing, and he will. He'll take it. He'll take the coaching, and look at things. And it's not all on him. We all can do better.
I felt like the offensive line played tonight. Yeah, there's 6 sacks, but maybe Cutter held on to him a few times.
Yeah, I think that's a balance there, because I thought, they really set the precedent with the run game early, and we were physical and able to, really have some pretty good balance in the first half. And, I'm not sure where it was at when we were 10-7 and we're driving when we get the strip sack. And, I thought we were doing some good things to that point. And again, later, on that play in particular, we gave up the sack. I think he was holding it a little bit. We need to look at some things and make sure we can get the ball out of his hands a little quicker. or at least, just protect it at that point. One thing was the way we were driving it, even if he takes the sack right there, if we punt, the ball and pin him, we were playing pretty good defense at that point as well. And, there's a lot to take from it, but, and I also, didn't like, it was frustrating for us, the third downs, we had our opportunities to get off the field early. When we go down and score and go up 7-0 and let them go down and drive and tie it up at 7-7, that took a little air, a little gas out of us as well. We got to be better and get those stops.
Mark, seems like obviously Seth was under bright spot tonight the way he played.
Yeah, he's a good football player. He really is. He was a little banged up through that game and fought through it, but yeah, he's a tough player. A lot of our guys really fought through some things tonight, and I do. I really appreciate their effort. I do. We all got to do better.
You talk a lot about making things kind of easy in the pass game. You had that big explosive to Willie. Where is there room for growth? I know you can't scheme up guys open all the time, so how can you still add a little bit of balance?
Yeah, we talked a lot about starting fast, but we talked about in a hostile environment, the precision and the execution, and that wasn't there. Even later in the game, in the pass game, we get a press, we get a one-on-one, we beat them, and we miss the throw. We just gotta make those plays. We have to make those plays, and it's on all of us. Like I said, there's things that we need to do better to make sure we put them in a position to be successful as well. Give them the time, give them the protection. Guys get open, make contested catches.
Mark, you said at the end of the day, the results are all that matter, but you also said you think you're a better team. Why are you confident that you're a better team?
Well, I think you could look at it, and for us, I mean, I'm with them every day. I definitely know that. I just think we're, I like the way our guys have a great mentality. The guys are playing hard, they're playing tough, they're playing physical. We need to execute better, we need to coach better, and we're all in this together. But I know it could turn at any time, and listen, nobody's going to feel sorry for us. We just got to get our butts back to work and get back at it and keep the same mentality that the guys have had.
Mark, last year down the stretch, things didn't go well. It seemed like the defense wasn't what it was early in the year. How can you prevent that from sort of snowballing?
Yeah, I think it's a fine line with developing guys too and bringing them along. And even in that game, we're bringing players in and letting them get quality snaps to get better. The more depth we have, I think that can help in a lot of ways as well. And we just got to keep the mentality and the attitude and the edge with us too.
The SEC losses stack up. How do you keep confidence that they don't let go of the rope?
Yeah, I really trust these guys and their mentality and their attitude, and that's what matters to me. Is getting back to work, and we can't look at it like that. We don't have the luxury of looking at at the schedule and all that stuff. We have to look at it 1 week at a time, and we had our opportunities in the past, and we had our opportunities through the years, and for us, it's 1 week at a time.
Mark, what was your vantage point about what happened in the first half there?
Pardon me?
What was your vantage point of what happened there in the first half?
Again, early in the second period, I want to say in the second quarter there, the momentum shift with the fumble. The fumble and then the pick six back to back. It's not good.
No, I'm sorry, I was referring mainly to whatever you're going to call it, the teams at the end of the half. What kind of happened on that?
I really didn't see it. It'd be negligent of me to call out somebody. I know the officials talked to both sides. And I know they called a penalty on them later. In the second half. And, you get up and you're winning and all that. If you're on the wrong side of it, you better just buckle your chin strap, get back in the huddle, and play the next play.
Mark, it looked like Zach did a little bit more in warm-ups today, but still not a ton.
Yeah, he did more. He was great in his attitude again, and really it's frustrating for him. He's doing everything he can. Really tried to get out there this week, and he was close. And he was doing things, and he told me that he was available in an emergency situation, and but he hadn't had a lot of snaps, and he has not thrown the ball down the field much.
Last one, anybody? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you all.
Brett Mark said he thought it was when after Kentucky scored on the first drive that it hurt that then South Carolina scored. What'd you see on that drive?
Yeah, we had opportunities to get off. You know, that was I don't know how many third downs they converted on that sequence. I think 2 or 3. 2 and a fourth down. Yeah, and so obviously that was it was unfortunate. Like that's came in the game. Third downs were going to be a big deal. On the first one, you know, we had an opportunity. You know, up front we had a decent little stunt going and didn't execute it a little bit. You know, we got a little bit out of the inside gap, and he was able to scramble. At the end of the day, it came down to him, right? It was about Sellers and how many times he sort of made plays, you know, specifically with his legs. You know, the one that really hurts, obviously, is, you know, you get it to a 2-score game there in the second half. You know, we're playing, you know, good, you know, get off the field the first 2 drives of the second half, and then let up a little RPO that we've been repping all week. You know, those are the disappointing ones. Those are the plays, and that's on us. That's on us as coaches. We've got to find a way to make sure the players understand exactly what to do, you know, in those moments. And but again, they played hard. You know, it's not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of, but it's about execution. And we've got to do a good job and a better job from top to bottom, from coaching to players, to get the job done.
Whenever the other defense gets 2 touchdowns just like that, what's your message to your guys to keep everyone?
It's a long game, like that. Especially when they happen so early. Like, you've got plenty of time to claw back. And again, I was proud of the guys' response. You know, on that next drive, that's when we had a fairly short field. They got the ball again right after at midfield, and they moved the ball a little bit into field goal range. Then we got the big sack that pushed them out of field goal range. So again, you know, it wasn't a lack of fight or desire. I never felt anything on the sideline that wasn't positive and ready for them to go back out. And, but again, we had opportunities to squeeze Sellers. You know, we missed the sack. You know, on the second drive, we ended up getting off on that series. But second drive, we got a free runner right at the cue. Miss him, don't stay high. You know, late in the game. You know, we've got another chance to get him to the ground on second down, and I think it was maybe 7. You know, you chance to get to third down and get off the field, and, you know, miss him. He scrambles all the way towards midfield, and so, you know, we've a lot of things we've got to do better.
What makes it so hard to stick to Sellers and actually get him down?
Well, he's big, strong. You know, he's got a really big lower half. We knew that going in. You know, yeah, he's a really good player, and hats off to him. He played really well, but we've got to play better.
Obviously, the schedule doesn't get any easier. So, what do you tell your guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's the deal. Like the message in the locker room, right, is, you know, you've played 4 games. You got 8 games left. Like, what are you can't tuck your head and tuck your tail and walk. Like, you got to man up, grow up. You know, we've got to learn from these mistakes. We've got to stop having self-inflicted mistakes. You know, and you like to say, get on a run, but it's about winning the first one. Like, you got to win 1 before you can go win 2. And so that's where the mindset is. And it is what it is.
Harvard Grace had the big sack that you mentioned earlier. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, he's played big. He's played strong. You know, and so obviously been pleased with his effort.
Is it just to keep your head up after taking those licks?
Just knowing the guys I have around me, they uplift me at all times, and knowing the team I got around me, I'm never in doubt. We can beat anybody any place, anywhere. We just got to put all the pieces together.
Kind of why do you have that confidence for maybe the fans who don't see it, just based on the results?
Yeah, just, I mean, the fans are in the locker room every day. I'm in the locker room every day grinding with these guys. Their preparation was outstanding this week. Everybody put their head down and grinded, and we're just going to keep getting right back to it. We're not getting the results we want right now, but we have all the pieces in place. We just got to put it all together.
Coach Stoops mentioned that Zach's trying to get out there, trying to get to 100%, but notice after games, even talking to you, putting his hand over your shoulder, how has he helped, even when he's not able to play, just kind of get through these moments, your first road start of the SEC?
Yeah, Zach's been great. Just always talking me through everything. He's kind of been in every situation there is to be in himself. So he's really knowledgeable in the game, and yeah, I love Zach and what he's done for me. He's always in my ear, uplifting me and making me a better player.
What's your maybe message to the guys? Because obviously the schedule is just picking up. You guys still got a lot of games to play.
Yeah, we're close. We're close. I mean, we're so close. We just got to hit on a few plays, and we're like inches away from hitting on a few plays. And I think we just put those things together. We just put everything together. We're gonna be all right. And like I said, I know the guys we got in the locker room. The guys have unwavering confidence in this team, in the locker room, the coaches, everybody. And I really do believe, and every dude in that locker room believes, we're going to put it all together and do something special.
So talk to me about that play where you just slightly overthrew Jamori. I want to say it was the second quarter.
Which
Almost end zone.
the go ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was in the third.
Okay.
But yeah, no, just like plays like that, like I said, just we're inches away. You know what I mean? We're 6 inches a foot away from making a lot of plays today.
How you were sacked 6 times. Just how